Hi again. We have a position here where white is to play and win, and as can easily be seen, white has an extra pawn, but he's two minor pieces down, but that doesn't really matter. Probably the best way of tackling this sort of an endgame position is to look at the legally available moves and then eliminate them and find the key move and then look at the legally available moves for the second player. So the three available moves that are available for white: Fe, and the simplest answer to this is bishop takes, just to demonstrate it. And that is an easy win for black, because this bishop is covered by the knight, this pawn cannot be defended, and then there's double protection on e7 by the knight and the bishop, so that would be no use at all. A definite win for black, not for white. King e8 is also available, and the simplest way of responding to this is to play here. I'm not going to go through the full variations for this. Test it out to satisfy yourself by all means, but we have a situation here where white cannot win this game. How he can win it, however, which will prove that king e8, bishop h6 is no good for white. It's this move, f7. This is the move that I noticed very quickly, but I thought I'd have a look at the other two as well, but I have eliminated them, but like I say, you check them out by all means, but f7. And then there are four variations here, because black, like I was saying for white, with his three legal moves, black has only four legal moves available to him. Well, if he plays bishop g7, white plays hg, check. And of course, that's a forced move, or a legal move if you like, a legal move, not an illegal move. King g7, and then the knight comes off as well. So white has evened up the material here rather well. Queen, the king is forced to take, and then of course king e7, and that is a very easy win for white. But just to demonstrate it, there, 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 and that's all over. So after f7, bishop g7, it's a win for white. We'll take a look at the second variation. It's the starting position. f7. So the next move is bishop takes h6. And the best reply here, it's tempting to take the knight, but I would advise taking the bishop with gh. And then of course, if black tries to take this pawn here, you just queen it and it's all over. So the only real move that black has, given that he can't move the king, and that is the main reason for taking it, to stop the king from coming through, knight f6, check. But in so moving his knight, he cedes the e-pawn. King e7. The only realistic hope that black has is by playing this, but it's not enough, because white goes to a dark square, and now black's checks with the knight have run out, and it's an easy matter to queen those pawns. So we've demonstrated bishop g7, bishop h6 do not work. So there are two more possibilities here. Let's have a look at them. I found this position online, and like the compilers have put it, there are many convoluted variations that would take way longer than the amount of time available in such as this video. So we'll just have a look, pressing on here. Try knight takes h6. This is the third one. Bishop g7, no good. Bishop h6, no good. So knight h6. Now king e8 here doesn't work. Test it for yourself if you want, but this certainly does. Again, like in the previous variation, gh proves rather effective. And then whether black responds trying to push this pawn or takes this pawn, it really doesn't matter because it's by transposition. So what we can do here is we can show this variation, and it will just more or less be the same as if we'd played this move first. So how does white respond to that? Well, he goes after the bishop, and the king still can't, black king that is, can't move. So now you see what I mean. Whether he played bishop h6 on the first move or the second, it makes no odds. The main thrust here with black is to try and get this to queen, but he doesn't have enough time, as will be proven. So white takes here. And of course, needless to say, the king coming here would be no good at all because he'd just queen it, and he's blocking the bishop. So he has no real option other than just to press on with g4. The simplest way to win this then is to queen this pawn. The bishop would have to take back. The king takes. And then it's a race, and I'll just demonstrate. After king to f8, we have g3, we have e7, g2, queen, queen. However, king here interposes, checkmate. It's all over. So evidently knight h6 is no good either. So we have one more variation. Let's take a look at that. This is a very instructive problem, and again, referring to the compilers, they request that anyone trying to solve this is in no way tempted to go to the search engine. And I've made this point elsewhere that it's best if you can manage to solve it yourself, because you're not going to learn anything really unless you do solve it yourself. Search engines are good, but if you want to become good, I'd leave them alone as much as you can. So again, that was the original position. So f7. We try knight f6, check. So how does this one work out? This is the fourth and final legal move by black. Well, the correct move here, of course, it would make no sense to move the king. Just whip the knight off. gf. And then black has two responses. He can either take the pawn here. Again, he can't move his king. Either take the pawn or take this pawn. So if he takes ef, let's just demonstrate. The first one is here, and of course, it's all over. There's just no way that black can defend his back rank. He can take the pawn here, but then the king comes in, and then it's a simple matter to checkmate. So really, that doesn't work at all. Alternatively, if he tries the other capture on h6, let's just have have a look at that. Then it's FE, and it clearly wins, so there is no way out at all there, I don't think. And just another thing that I've noted here, just to round this off, this is an interesting one to go through at your leisure, and I would advise it. I spent about 30 minutes or so looking at all the possibilities, and it's a good workout. So that was the original position. You play here, he plays here, you take. I did mention EF and bishop H6. For anyone wondering what happens if he advances the pawn, that would be the final consideration in this. Well, it's FE, unless black's already taken the pawn, play FE, and you have this, it's not quite a phalanx of pawns, but it's getting pretty close to it. And all that black can do to stave off losing at once is by playing here, and then the king comes here, and evidently he can push on. But then let's put a queen on the board to round this off, and that is unquestionably checkmate. Like I say, very instructive, and take your time going through it, and many variations to consider, but that one F7 is the key move. We've looked at all the legal replies, and they all fail miserably, don't they? Enjoy your chess. Goodbye for now.